Hey friends, Tuxx here. I found this at Target, this teeny arcade, and I wanted to share this with you. This is a cool little part of my teeny arcade collection. I hadn't seen this one before, and this one, I have to admit, there's a few probably pros and cons. It is an Atari 2600 teeny arcade, which is made to look actually much like back in the day of having a little retro TV set with a little console and a joystick and a little power adapter and all that good stuff. So it's kind of cool that it includes all of the elements of home console gaming back in the day. However, the bad thing is I'm not sure how functional this will be because you have a lot of loose pieces. So we'll see what that's like once we open it up. But you can see the packaging here is very, very cute. I will have a link for this down below, so be sure and click that link to get yours at the very best price. And what's amazing about these teen arcades is not only does it have like a fun retro little toy here, it actually plays games. It actually plays 9 Atari games and a bonus Pac-Man, which is pretty cool actually. It includes the 2600 console, 10 pre-programmed games, a TV, and a joystick. Okay, so everything you need to play is right here in the box, which is pretty cool. Lots of great artwork on the sides. You can see the games. More talk in the back about the games. It includes Centipede, great game. Looks like the arcade ROM, actually. Pong, okay, really basic, but looks like the probably the arcade Pong, I guess, or home Pong. I don't think there's too much of a difference. Missile Command, which does look like the arcade Missile Command. It looks like Breakout, okay, which has the Breakout, the marquee from the arcade game, but I can't really tell. Some of these retro games are very similar. Asteroids, which is clearly the arcade game. It definitely looks like the arcade game as opposed to the more blocky 8-bit looking Atari 2600 version. Combat, which definitely is Atari 2600. Warlords, that looks like this could probably be either, but this probably in all reality is the arcade ROM. Millipede looks like the arcade ROM, and Tempest simply will not play well on 2600, so this definitely looks like the arcade ROM. So a lot of great games, and it comes with a bonus Pac-Man, which is kind of funny because Pac-Man, when Pac-Man came out, okay, it was like a huge deal. Okay, it was like, oh my god, you can play Pac-Man at home, you know. And the game, it was one of the first Atari games that was like $5 more than the normal $30 price. I believe it was like $35 as opposed to the normal high price of $29 at the time for first run arcade games, you know. So anyway, interesting was up, and then when it came out, it looked like that, and it was pretty bad. It's a pretty bad version of Pac-Man. But it's part of video game history, and they buried a bunch of them with the ET cartridges out in the desert or something because it didn't sell that well, and it was pretty much part of the video game collapse of the 80s because that game looked that bad. It was pretty bad. But anyway, on to positive things. This home package looks pretty darn cute. This looks very, very collectible with great original games, cool little artwork and stuff. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what this is like on the inside. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna try and carefully pop this open. I'd prefer not to break the plastic or rip the cardboard too much because I do like to keep some of these in their original packaging. We'll go ahead and pop this open here. You can see even has like a little instruction sheet, which I'm not gonna go through this. This kind of advertises some of their other products, which are like little versions of like Jenga and Jaws and all sorts of different toys from the 80s and stuff. But they're like smaller versions. But anyway, enough about that. Okay, I do like the way the actual unit on the inside looks like a classic living room with like ugly mesh, like thick plush carpeting and like wood panel on the walls. So kind of interesting. You could actually set this up. It's interesting. This actually goes up, so you could actually have even a bigger, like wood paneled living room look to it, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Let's go ahead and this is really glued together more than most of the teeny arcades, which does make it a little bit difficult for a collector like me to keep everything nice. Let me get scissors. Okay, we got the scissors here. We're going to do a little choppy chop, and I'm going to still try and keep this kind of nice though, because I would like to keep this together if I could. We'll just give this like little snips. Try and get the TV off the cardboard here without too much of a damaging the actual cardboard. So many pieces, oh my gosh. Wow, this is going to be a problem. Very difficult to keep nice. Okay, I was really trying to keep it all together, but it looks like I'm just going to have to rip it. So, as you can see, when you rip this part off of the console, you get some of the cardboard with it, which is a little shame, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and pull this out. So here's the actual video game itself, including the TV set. Nice little retro TV with antennas, very funny. Love the wood grain look, got the little turned knobs and all that good stuff. Okay, to look at the 3 elements here, we have the TV set, which is a nice hard plastic TV. It looks like there is like little legs here, so you could actually maybe even pop this open to be like a little TV stand, like back in the day. You could actually, there'd be like a little TV stand maybe. A little hard to get out here. Let me go ahead and try and pop that open there so you can see it does have little legs to the TV set. So very cool, legs to the TV. Okay, and then there is the little, looks like this is meant to be like the TV switch box, which is interesting. They even go to the trouble of including that, but that would normally go on the back of the TV set. And then here's the little console, which just feature one button, which I guess does the controller. But really cool look to the Atari. It's nice. It has a really nice plastic look to it, like the original video computer system VCS 2600 with the wood grain front, little Atari logo there. Looking very, very cool. Looks very true to the classic 2600 look. So I dig the fact it's like a little teeny 2600. And then the joystick itself here actually looks really nice. That looks like a classic Atari joystick. It does have a working fire button. You can hear it click. And then this does move nice too. You can hear it click. So it definitely feels like a very functional, good, classic Atari joystick. So despite being very small. All right, I'm going to dim the lights and we're going to take a look here at the screen. It's a little hard with a little lighting. So let me dim it a little bit. We're going to check it out. Okay, so here we are. We got this powered up. The room lights are dimmed a little bit. You can see Teeny Arcade. We're going to use the joystick to try and maneuver through this. Definitely is a little bit hard to demonstrate this nicely with all these weird little moving parts, like all the little things. It's flashing here. What does it want me to do? Let's see here. Do we have to press the button on this? Press to start. Press the, looks like it has the fire button on the joystick to start. So we're going to hit that red fire button right there. See the red fire button? Okay, we're going to hit that. And there we go. It does explain through. Oh, good. Okay. So it shows all the games here. We got, you know, a Centipede, Breakout. We have Pac-Man, Asteroids, Warlords, Tempest, Pong. You know, Tempest is probably the most graphically intense one. So let me show you Tempest here with this, and we'll see how this looks. And that looks just like the arcade game. Look at that. Wow. It may be a little bit laggy, but this really honestly looks like the arcade game. So I'm kind of shocked at how amazing this looks. I've never seen Tempest like look this great, this small. Whoa, okay. This is definitely a game that's not meant to be played one-handed. But you can see definitely it looks like Tempest. Sounds like Tempest. I think this is the real arcade ROM too. It's weird how there's two fireball thingies. Oh, I just went backed out. Okay, I backed out of it. My bad. Definitely hard to control this, holding the screen up for the camera. It may be better if you're just playing it on this thing, but I would say this definitely is the most functional teeny arcade of all time, though. But it does have fluid movement. It looks good. You know, it looks good. It plays good. Really looks like Tempest. Let's go ahead and try one of the other games just for fun here. We'll back up here and try, when I can go through every game. If you want, I could probably do a follow-up video later on this, and we could check out more of the games. Let's check out, like, everyone likes Millipede. Let me try Millipede here. And this definitely looks like the arcade Millipede, the way it's starting here with the different bonus objectives. Yeah, this is definitely the arcade Millipede. Good sounds. It looks like it's a little bit laggy. A little bit laggy compared to the actual arcade, but still pretty darn good, actually. Definitely has some arcade look to it, and definitely has the sense of the arcade. This hasn't been reprogrammed. I think it's just the limitations of playing the arcade ROM on this hardware. Let's go ahead and, we're going to try one more. Let me take one look at one more here just before we do final judgment on this. Let me go ahead and try some other game here. Let's go through, what one should we try? You want to try Missile Command? All right, let's try Missile Command. So we got Missile Command selected here. We're going to hit the fire button on the joystick. There we go. And that definitely looks like the arcade ROM again. So very cool. They got the arcade ROMs on here. Arcade sounds. Okay, I want to show you a Pac-Man here. Check out Pac-Man. We got the joystick. The original Atari 2600 Pac-Man does not have this splash screen, this intro screen, so it's very interesting. They show the 2600 Pac-Man actually on the box, but then they show this screen. Let me hit the fire button and see what happens here. Oh, okay, yeah, though this is definitely the 2600 Pac-Man. You can see how the maze looks very kind of jinky, not the best. Everything's flickering. This is exactly like the 2600 Pac-Man, I remember. So yeah, they nailed this one. However, it's a really bad version of Pac-Man, so it's almost too bad they couldn't have included the real Pac-Man, just to give you a sense of variety of how the real arcade game is compared to this like weird little one. Now they do have other Teeny Arcade games, which I may have some additional links down below, and I do have other videos on Tuxx Toys that show different ones, such as Frogger, Space Invaders, Miss Pac-Man, and other Teeny Arcades. Okay, so if you want to check those out, again, it's on the Tuxx Toys channel of mine. I have all sorts of great other versions of these Teeny Arcades. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, it's fun to collect these little things because they're so teeny, and it's just kind of a fun retro experience. Okay, to recap the Teeny Arcade little home 2600 console, I'm definitely digging the way the packaging has, even the true like silver and red Atari, it looks like an Atari cartridge actually, which is very interesting. It has the same color scheme, same artwork, very cool. It's weird how it does include arcade ROMs, but it is a 2600 little console, and this is clearly a 2600, but the games on here, for the most part, besides Pac-Man, are the arcade ROMs. Now there is some pros and cons here. Pros, love playing Tempest on a small screen. That's really, really cool. Cons is the fact that it's cumbersome. Like you have a cord going to a console, to a TV, to a little joystick right here. The joystick is responsive. It's really good, so that is a pro. But just the fact you have so many little pieces to deal with, it does make it a little bit difficult to really get the full enjoyment of playing it. But they did do a great job. I mean, as far as a pro goes, I would say it does look like the classic home console experience that distinctly looks like a 2600, that looks like a 2600 joystick, and feels like one too, actually, surprisingly. And the TV set is kind of weird. I wish TV sets didn't have a perfectly square monitor back in the day. There was more of an oval, kind of a round look to it. If you look back on like maybe your parents' or grandparents' TV, they weren't perfectly square like that. Okay, it was definitely not widescreen, but it definitely wasn't perfectly square like that either. A little bit more of a rectangle. So anyway, that's a little bit weird. But all in all, I'd say this is very enjoyable. Definitely something that you want in your collection. You want to add this to your collection. I will have a link for this and maybe some other Teeny Arcade favorites of mine down below in the comments, so be sure to click that link to get yours at Amazon at the very best price. Okay, and again, on Tuxx Toys I have many other Teeny Arcade reviews, so if you go back through the Tuxx Toys queue, video queue, you'll see a whole bunch of other ones, including Frogger, and there's Miss Pac-Man, there's a pinball machine one. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of them, so be sure and check that out back in Tuxx Toys queue, because I have been collecting these for quite a while now, and I really do enjoy them. It's a fun little thing to collect, part of video game history, and just a good time. And it's like 20 bucks, okay? Not expensive for all these games. For a Tempest that you can play at home for 20 bucks, and it comes with the screen, the game, everything you need in one box. That's pretty amazing. Okay, all right, friends, hope you're having a good one. Be sure to check out both my channels, Tuxx Toys and Tuxx Reviews, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, and click the link. Okay, bye bye.